Call the meeting to order. Barbara? Jane?
Yeah.
Hi, guys. I think it's 6 o'clock. We're gonna call this meeting to order and start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you all for coming out again. Roll call, Jerry is gonna be here tonight, so I'm gonna try and call real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have at least 5 quorum here, so we're good. Megan's online.
Megan's online.
Thank you,
Megan's
Megan.
online.
And so is Jane and Leanne.
Oh, perfect. All right, very good. Public comments. Oh my gosh, big public. So in terms of the budget review, we have the Acton Library coming up first, the Parks and Rec after that. And then, I think Leanne is going to present on the police department capital budget request. We postponed from last night. The debt service, we're gonna postpone to a much later date. I think if we made it real long, you guys are all report. Very good for it. So, first of all, I wanna, is that your shared name?
They are. I was gonna formally introduce, I will start the presentation. So I've been doing this for 7 years. Can I start? Are we good? I just want to make sure. And I just have one thing of statistics that's through the state, and the gifts are not for us. They are because we would love to see, they would love to see, we would love to see you in the library. So I've been doing this for 7 years. And every year I have new things to tell you about how we are doing, what we've learned, and how we've improved on some things from the year before. Many people don't recognize the incremental changes the library makes to ensure we are meeting the community where they need us. Tonight, I have my assistant director and children's librarian Rebecca Gravener with me, and together we'd like to thank the community for their overwhelming support for our upcoming project, which we'll discuss a little bit later. We'd also like to thank our board of trustees. We have Nancy, we have Marion, Nathan, Al, that's in here, I'm leaving some online. And our friends of Acton, we have the co-president Nancy and they are just amazing support groups. We also have a new support group this year, the Acton Public Library Foundation, of which, like I say, member. And the foundation helped us reach our current fundraising goals and will ensure that in the future, the library will have an avenue for securing gifts, grants, and contributions for upcoming capital projects, hopefully way in the future.
So as the children's librarian, I like to tell stories, and that's what our aim is tonight, is to tell you the story of the library. And the services that we offer for Old Saybrook residents and the community that comes in. The library is oftentimes seen as an intangible asset to the public. And our hope is to show you those tangible services that we provide. And as Amanda said, we'll share an update about the renovation and how that might impact our services for the people.
So there's a lot of text on this slide, but over the course of 2025, we have developed some great partnerships with other local organizations and town departments. And through the support of local businesses, we've been able to increase our reach to more community members. We participate in Starlight Festival, celebrate Saybrook, and the Memorial Day Parade. We have enjoyed participating in activities with the chamber, such as the Scarecrow competition. I don't know if you saw Waldo. Did you find Waldo? I hope you did. And this year we have been asked to spearhead the America 250. So we're working with a large group of across agencies across town, and we're planning, like a large variety of interactive, educational, enjoyable community events to celebrate the forming of our nation. The library is also looking forward towards the future and how we can best meet the needs to support learning initiatives in the schools and help support local groups that also support our community. Removing things like unused databases and putting those funds into services like a library app. I don't know if anyone has downloaded our app, It's a result of listening to patrons. That's good though, we're happy, that is definitely a used app, yeah. And we recognize in our community that not everyone walks around with their library card, but they absolutely walk around with their phone. So, you know, you may hear more than once tonight that I would love for you to get a library card. You don't have to have one for many of the services, but we would love for you to get a library card. And one of the easiest ways to have a library card when you're walking around is to download it on our app. Let's see some of the other things. The library trustees updated some important policies to enable more groups like the Girl Scouts and Miss President to meet in our rooms. And the trustees also updated the strategic plan to support the renovation project with an emphasis on technology and how it plays an important role in the services we offer our patrons.
So we do have this pretty broad range of accomplishments. We go from the huge picture of being able to be a townwide shelter for the community with our generator to a smaller program like 1,000 books before kindergarten, which is the hope of getting kids and families in that practice of reading every day, every night, no matter how short, how quick, or how many times you reread the same story. But all of that can only be attributed to our staff. We have the most dedicated staff who are creative, they're energetic, they're innovative, and they form those relationships with anyone who walks into our space. We meet those patrons where they are, regardless of skill set, demographics, or any other perceived barriers. And we keep coming back to this idea of the library card, including the library card. So I do have a story to share with you of one of these relationships that we formed that was pretty impactful. And I'm sorry, I might get a little emotional when I tell this story, so please excuse me. So one night we had a young woman walk into the children's room, and she was alone. She was young, 20-something. And she was visibly upset. So Corey, our children's library assistant, walked over just to see if she needed anything, and she was kind of browsing books. So she shared the story of why she was here in Old Saybrook. Her boyfriend, who grew up in Old Saybrook, had come home with his brothers and sisters because their mother had been moved to hospice. And so she had been sent to the library. The adult children had decided that one of the ways they wanted to honor their mother in her last hours was to read the stories that she had read to them as children. So the girlfriend came, her name was also Corey, so she came to pick out the books. So we quickly found the books that they were looking for. And then it came time to come check out. And Corey grew up in Wilson, which is up north, yeah, but not part of our Lion Consortium. So we could not look up her library card. She didn't happen to have the card on her at that time. So our Corey called Wilson Public Library to get the card number because we did not want to impede this in any way possible. So she was on the phone with the Wilson Public Library. Unfortunately, this young woman's card had expired, but we explained the situation. And again, they recognized what we were doing. And because librarians do this, they helped us make sure that Corey could check out those books so that the family could be read to. So, you know, we felt like we had done this very important task of ensuring that this woman was comforted. A couple of weeks later, we got a thank you note from Corey and the family, which we did not want, we did not anticipate, but it was pretty impactful. We carried that with us for a long time. And that's what libraries and stories do. They make those connections between people, for people. I'm sure you all have stories that you read as youngsters that you might revisit or you might have read to your children or your grandchildren. And the library is one of those last places that you can walk into without the expectation of having to buy something or having to produce something. And as we've said, we regularly have patrons who come in and say, I just need to print something really quick. I don't have a library card. You don't need a library card to print. I need a notary. You don't need a library card to have a notary. I need to use the computers. I need to check on something. You don't have to have a library card for that. You came in, we're here to help. That's our job. During the heat wave last summer, we had patrons coming in looking for a cooling place. They sat, they read the papers, they played cards. This last week, we've had patrons coming in seeking warmth. And not just warmth, but companionship. Some of their places that they normally might go for companionship have been closed off because of the snow. So they've come in and they've visited with us. And that's because the library has become that community living room. It's that third space in all of our lives. And as staff, we're super happy to be a part of that.
Okay, yes, so the library serves as a place where experiences come for free. Knowing that not everyone learns through the same methods, we offer information attainment for a variety of learning styles. One of the most well-used learning opportunities we offer is through volunteer work. Groups like United Cerebral Palsy, Livability, and Vista Life Innovations collaborate with our staff to help their adult students attain valuable life skills. And the library benefits by getting a cleaner environment. A core value of our mission statement is to support lifelong learning. So we recognize that some people learn best through hands-on programs. Some children just need a little push and feel most comfortable reading with our golden retriever dog, Izzy. You might see her there. She is a staff and patron favorite. Definitely my favorite. I know that, what is that, every Tuesday at 3:30, I have somewhere to be, and it's downstairs with the dog. Some people need quiet spaces, and we offer those quiet study areas. Alternatively, some people need spaces to create with collaborators, and we offer that too. We updated our collection acquisition policy to be compliant with the state library's policies, which reinforce the need for libraries to provide free and easy access to materials in all formats that meet the varied needs and interests of the community. In Old Saybrook, we've also expanded our library of things and our toy library. These are both extremely welcome from a cost perspective for parents who may not always have the available funds for the latest toys and gadgets, but these items support the reality that play is an important part of education.
So how many of you have heard some of these statements? No one reads anymore. No one goes to the library, or I haven't been to the library in years. Do those places still exist? Well, yes. So these myths of the demise of the library have been around for a really long time. But they're not true. And part of that is because we continue to iterate and change and adapt to what the needs are. Over the past year, we had 11,800 plus people attend our programs. We had 85,000 people utilize the library in ways that can be measured. But again, we go back to this idea, there are some ways that can't be measured. The library card numbers don't always represent the actual usage of the library. Printing, copying, the number of tax forms that we have printed for free just today alone, because we have not received our copies of the tax forms. We have not received our instruction booklets yet, but everybody has come in. And so we are printing those off for free. We don't ask for a library card. We don't ask if you're an Old Saybrook resident, but we're providing that service. On Mondays and Thursdays, we offer individual technology support. Brian Story, our young adult librarian, he covers Mondays, and every other Monday he's at the estuary helping to support. And on Thursdays, I get to be the person. We have patrons pop in all throughout the day. So we are constantly, all of us, having to make sure that we are on top of our game. We know what the latest is going on with technology. So many times patrons come in and they hand their phone to us and they say, but I used to be a teacher and I don't understand how to use this device. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help you do that. Whether it's checking in for medical appointments, printing off your tax forms, writing a resume, we can help. I have another story. I know you're not surprised. We had a patron walk in with a disk drive, and they needed some medical support. They had an MRI of their back, and they needed to send these images to a doctor in Texas through this very special portal that was being used. First of all, it was a disk drive, and their computer at home, as most of our computers these days, no longer have disk drives. So they had to come to the library to use the disk drive. Then the MRIs are in a special image format that is different than what the portal was asking for. The portal was asking for JPEGs, and these were in a different file format. So first we had to figure out, we had to learn, we had to do some quick little research. Emily Boucher, our head of circulation, she had to do some quick research to figure out which file formats needed to be processed for this portal. So we worked with this patron, Emily worked with this patient to ensure that the doctor in Texas got these MRI images. Luckily, the patron surgery went very well. They're back. They visit us several other times for additional support in lots of different ways. And it comes in all different devices. Today alone in my tech meetings, I worked with iPhones. I worked with a very old HP laptop that unfortunately was not going to support TurboTax 2025, and I had to break that news to this patron. And he said, I knew I needed a new laptop. So those are those services that aren't reflected in library card usage. Yeah.
Goals and objectives. So as we shift into this year, we recognize all the work we do currently. And we recognize that this work always needs to be fine-tuned and re-examined. As with any organization, realizing that we must evolve to meet community needs is essential. Information comes in many forms and needs to cover a wide swath of topics for various age groups. One mission is to create collections that people can explore new information while identifying with the authors or characters within the books and databases. An American Library Association article states, diverse, culturally authentic materials in library collections allow children to meet people like themselves and develop an appreciation for the beauty of their culture and the culture of others. We have also been discussing adding items into our library of things like a radon detector, blood pressure monitor, or a car diagnostic code reader. All these items, I don't think I want to have more than once probably. And so those are the kind of things that we would have in the library of things. You can come in, check them out, bring them back. Like me, there's some libraries that has I think Mansfield has a whole tool library. I mean, how many times do you need like a post digger or whatever? I mean, so they actually got a grant for that. But like, depending on the community, you know, it really does. It really helps. The only issue that we're thinking of now is like, as we go into this, move into this renovation, where are we going to store all this? So that definitely needs to be in those plans. And also one of the goals that we need to meet by April 2027, we will be required to have an ADA Title II compliant website, meaning by using the mandated web content accessibility guidelines, our web content will be more accessible to a wider range of people with disabilities, including accommodations for blindness and low vision. So that is something we definitely need to work on when we know that we have approximately 4,700 website visits each month and about 7,100 web page visits. So we recognize that that's one of the first places that people come to find information out about the town and about the library.
So part of the magic of the library is the wealth of knowledge that is at our fingertips and the ability to dive deeper to explore through music, play, written word, and even tinkering. So one of my own areas of growth has been this desire to explore through doing, creating something. So I started a Tinker Lab program on Mondays. It's for grades 2 through 6. And we just explore stuff. We've built with cardboard, and if you've never seen a second grader use a safety knife and slice a piece of cardboard, then you aren't living. Cause they loved being able to do that. Taught them safety rules, be safe, yeah, so and nobody got hurt, which was good. But we've also built marble runs out of bits and bobs, and so they had to figure out angles, so that the marble wouldn't go flying off. We did some coding with the code.org website, which again is a free website. And it teaches, logic and this, if this, then that statements and sequencing and algorithms. And we just finished in December, we used the Spiro robots, which are small programmable robots. And these we were able to borrow from the state library, which also has an equipment library that libraries can borrow from to enhance or add content to their programs. And we had a blast. The kids really enjoyed learning about heading. So we had to talk about heading, we had to talk about aim. They also did something with that physics thing of speed and distance. And that would help understand how long something needed to roll for, how far it would really go. So our school does an amazing job of providing the foundation for the students, but they have to follow a curriculum. I don't have to follow a curriculum, and the kids can tinker and they can just play. One of the students, he was really interested in the idea of creating loops for his Sphero. So he figured out how to program an infinite loop. So his Sphero would just keep dancing around on the floor and making sometimes a few rude noises, but that was okay. And these are the kinds of programs that we can provide at the library. It's just that space for tinkering.
Yeah. Okay, capital requests. So for the upcoming year, our capital requests are unfortunately related to the rate at which technology needs to be updated. And apparently it's 5 years. So both our computers and self-check station need to have Windows 11. And they are all running on Windows, I think 10 or less. Our self-check machine, which was first purchased in 2021, has seen a steady increase of use over the past years, to where it's now about 8% physical checkout. Our current model is the X11, and we'd like to upgrade to the X25. And that'll already have Windows 11 installed on it, therefore allowing for the software and the security that is necessary. So many times during those, we have I think I have the statistic up there, about 5,840 computer sessions. Our libraries are teaching people how to get email addresses, sign up for Social Security benefits, sign up for DMV appointments. The DMV sends people here all the time. The office sends people to our library. Just go to the library and they expect it to, always be available.
Good for you, because our website's confusing for everybody.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Glad you can help.
I have
Good to know.
I have a permit test coming up in a couple of weeks, not for me, but for my youngest. Yeah, I know, right? I've been dropped now. And we have to help people differentiate between scams and reliable resources. And like you said, how to print the correct tax forms. And also, as Rebecca mentioned in her story about the MRI scans, we don't know who's going to walk through the door at any given moment needing technical assistance. So many important services are now online only. You can only access so many of your benefits online. So it is imperative that we have updated equipment, our hardware and software can meet these demands for our patrons.
So this is the computer replacement quote that Lion, which we are fortunate to be a part of. They really help us mitigate the costs of having to do this on our own or the town having to purchase this material. So they have worked with us and worked out a plan that we can do some computers this year and some computers next year, which again, will really help keep that cost at a reasonable place. And then for our self-checkout machine, again, this company is who we've worked with already. So the quote for that, and Lion has a great relationship with them too, so they'll be the ones that kind of make sure that this happens and it goes smoothly.
And I just wanna say that Lion and Larry also work.
Sorry.
I don't know, Larry's not here. Larry also works very closely with Lion a lot of times. If it's, they work back and forth. If it's a network issue, they'll, they have no problems working together. It's been a very, very good relationship. So. I don't know. I never know how to format this slide. I'm really sorry. So this brings us to our budget request for 2027. Because we feel that we will be beginning a construction project, we do not think that this is a year to increase our collection budget request, even though we have watched the cost of items and books creep over the past, 6 or 7 years incrementally. We just recognize that we're gonna have to be shifting these books back and forth, so adding a whole bunch of extra books or adding a whole bunch, we're just gonna move them in. So, but we will maintain status quo and make sure everyone has the best sellers, and we're ordering a wide variety of topics. That's our mission. Our employee line has also increased. I hope you can see that on your paper copies. And that's really contractual obligations and cost of living. Our cleaning contract unfortunately also increased. And it increased after we published this presentation. And I think that is also due to the minimum wage increase. We got that increase mentioned to us, and it is not reflective on here. I want to say it's another $2,000. But I will be honest, when I had originally approached and looked for quotes, maybe it was like 4 or 5 years ago, they were the best cost, and they still are at this point. They come 6 days a week. He cleans everything. If we have an issue, he'll fix things. A lot of times he'll do things with, not within, I think he goes above and beyond. And so I'm pleased with the company, and I don't think we could get a better deal at this point even. Let's see, in our other purchase professional line, that is where our Lion consortium fees come from. Like we said, Lion does the majority of our tech support. They also provide us with a delivery system within the 30 libraries. So this fee also goes to the increase in the salary of the driver. So they have 2 drivers that go to the 30 libraries. It is a hard, labor intense job. And all of our patrons know exactly what delivery day is, and they know that Justin is supposed to be here on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and why are my books here from, Durham. So, it is well worth that cost, because we are a bulk lender, and we get a little kickback for being a bulk lender. But people really appreciate that service. They recognize that, if I don't have it on my shelf because someone else has it, another patron has it checked out, we can borrow it from one of those 30 libraries and have it sent here within the week normally. So it's really a benefit to our patrons. And then this fee has increased a little bit as well because of Libby. And I know you had mentioned that yeah, Libby is great, and we do pay for that convenience. Digital books, there's a monopoly on digital books, and what the consumer pays, say you have an Audible, and you're paying whatever $12. The library has to pay $110 for that same item. And we can only use it for 26 times, and then it expires. But we understand that people love this service. People, I mean, we have overspent this line for the past 5 years. I don't know if you've seen our hoopla. That's more of an on-demand thing. You get that book immediately. If you see it in the hoopla store, you can check it out immediately. Libby, you might have to be on a 2-year wait list for the bestseller because we can only buy 2 copies at $110 a piece, where we can buy, we could buy 5 or 6 copies of physical, but that's not, people are driving, you can't hold up a book while you're driving. So, I mean, we do pay for that. There is some legislation right now trying to work on that monopoly and trying to lower those prices to, especially for libraries, so that we have the ability to buy more things for our patrons. So it has taken up a little bit more of our budget. I don't know if there's any questions.
I'm sorry, Amanda,
Yeah.
which line were you just referring to? I must have.
So that is the other purchased professional line.
Is that an increase?
There is, I think it was a 3% increase in line from last year.
I'm looking at the draft budget, and it looks like it was that much last year as well.
I think they had a 3% last year too.
No, it was.
Oh, no,
same
no, we
dollar.
did delete, we removed we removed an old database, which was about
Oh, so there's no
7,700.
change.
There's not, there shouldn't be any
Okay.
real shift, but that price does seem to keep increasing because of costs of things like Libby. So I think we're gonna see that again next year and next year, because as minimum wage keeps increasing, and that's what some of the cost of the drivers make.
So if you hadn't gotten rid of a database, you'd be asking for an
I
increase.
would be asking for. an
Okay, yeah, I missed.
increase. Yeah, I did not,
part
I
of the
didn't
beginning
make
of
that
your-
clear.
Okay,
I
all right.
But it does that, and we've had to shift. We do have some gift funds that we can purchase items. And, we do get, sometimes we'll get, specific gifts where like someone is honoring someone. We had like an old director, and someone donated money and said, hey, here, purchase some items for the collection. So we do get, we get some ease there.
Thank you.
A couple other budget highlights that we'd like to point out, just as you're seeing in your own home, utilities have gone up. And we have seen basic increases in utilities for the library. It is a 21,000 square foot space that has to be heated and cooled, and it does have lovely high ceilings, which we all enjoy, a nice architectural feel, but that does cost. This year, our HVAC system had some issues. We had some leaks and some problems with the machinery, so that was an increased cost. We have auto flushing toilets, which are fantastic. But unfortunately, the mechanisms require a plumber to come visit when they have problems. You can't just, we thought with Eric, our new maintenance individual, that by just changing the batteries, that was gonna be great, but no, that wasn't. There's another element to it that only a plumber can fix. And the company is very reluctant to share that information because they want to keep being called too, of course. So that we had some plumbing issues. Over the course of the year until just recently, there was some deferred general maintenance and some undetected maintenance issues. For example, we have a section of the roof is a flat roof. And we unknowingly, we had a small tree bush growing up there that had pushed its roots down into our ceiling, and we had a leak during one of our torrential rains. Now that Eric is on board with us, a lot of that has changed. All of these sort of general maintenance issues will prevent these sort of catastrophic maintenance issues. So we're really happy. We're having some issues with the drip coming down from the ceiling from the snow, and there's some ice forming, and Eric was out there today trying to figure out a way to keep the ice from causing major problems. So it was great. We're very happy with him. But yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, yeah, some of those costs,
Yeah.
for finding out problems, we'll pay for them now, and we have seen an increase in this year's budget. So, but you know, in the long run, it's better that we take care of these things quickly. So construction, the question that everyone wants. So over the past year, we have been, honestly, we've been overwhelmed by the support that the community has for this renovation fund. I can't tell you how many times people have come up to me and they want to, they want to know, when are you starting? When are you breaking ground? And I'm like, well, there's just a couple of things. So we were able to raise those non-municipal funds relatively quickly in 2 years. And so hopefully this will allow us to get to our project that much quicker. But currently, the state librarian has prepared the application to be added to the bond commission agenda. And she submitted it for the first quarter's meeting, which I think there's one at the end of January, one at the end of February. So one's tomorrow.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So we don't see the agenda in advance?
Apparently not.
So we've contacted our state delegation here, Norm Needleman, Martha. I've had a text chain with Norm, and I know Nancy is also involved. I was on the phone with Martha, Senator Marks, about 2 weeks ago, mentioned it to her, so of course, Devin. So we're hopeful, we got the grant 2 years ago, so the grant, it just has to be basically checkmarked. These agendas get canceled frequently. Now the governor might just have a disagreement with somebody who may want something, and he'll just say no. And, so hopeful that it will hit tomorrow. That'd be wonderful. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to Norm and Mark.
What's that?
I sent it to Norm and Mark and let them know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
And Devin too.
So, sorry, but once we get through that process, we can get to the good stuff. We can hire a contractor, we can talk to our, get those finalized architectural plans. Right now, we have conceptual plans, but like you said, with an HVAC is interesting as ours, there's probably gonna be something that we might have to shift or move or, but I think the reality is the staff is super excited. The ideas and the excitement behind this project, it's there. And I would really love if anyone wants to come in and talk about the project or wants to see the designs. They are on the website, but feel free to come in. We'll give you a tour. And we can show you what is now and then what is definitely gonna be easier and better with the construction. So please come visit anytime.
Yeah, and these are some of the conceptual drawings. The space works, we make it work, but we need flexible furniture, we need a makerspace, we need our staff moved down from upstairs down to the main floor. Our teens need a space desperately. We've carved out this small little room, or it's not even a room, but we've just moved bookcases so that they have some space, but they want to express joy when they've succeeded in a video game and you have to tell them to be quiet. So that's what this is gonna offer us. And we've all just been, as Amanda said, we've all just been brainstorming different program ideas that we can do, different tools that we can get. My own personal favorite is the makerspace. I'm so excited that we're gonna have that because it's not just about the big fun toys like the 3D printer or a Glowforge laser cutter. It's about some of the smaller things, like a sewing machine, a couple of sewing machines, so that patrons can come in. I just need, I'm making an apron, or I want to learn how to do something, and then I'll buy a sewing machine for myself. I want to tinker. I want to explore. So that's what the makerspace is really going to be able to offer us as well. So we're excited, and yeah, please, We'll walk you through, we'll show you those sagging bookshelves that we can't move. Yeah, so.
Yes. Sorry. So in summary, we have an amazing staff. That is really looking forward to the new space while innovating and providing the best service we can now. In the meantime, we have plans on continuing to improve our technology offerings, including some tech classes that we have already scheduled. We've been looking into new ways to collaborate with other entities to broaden our outreach efforts, and we continue to work on educating our staff so that we have the ability to pass on any of our knowledge to our community members.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's just us. And I know some people might be attached to their old library cards, but we were offering you a new library card super quick.
Yeah, I have mine in my wallet.
You have
Happy
your
to get a
thing,
new one.
yeah, you can get a new one, it's got a keychain thing, or you could just scan it to the new app that you need it on your
Okay, I
phone.
can have too.
Yeah, you can get an app.
Yes.
But puts on hold, see the.
North, I love my library card.
Yeah, so.
I always call it the most powerful tool known.
It is.
So,
Questions?
Just, you didn't have a comparison, but it looks like with the additional $2,000, it's pretty much an even 2% increase, just 2.08% is what
I think so.
Yeah. so-
I do, like I said, the cleaning company, that was given us to us in December. So, or later, sorry, it was after we had posted it, so. But,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Are there any questions from people online? Eric, do you know?
When the renovation's done, will there be certain things like, energy costs or whatever, utility costs that will go down because you'll have more efficient systems in there in the building, or?
Possibly. It would be nice.
It's still gonna be heated and cooled the same way?
Yeah, I mean, that, we have 34 heat pumps.
That's the way it was
Oh,
designed.
okay.
Yeah, because I think, and I think that this is like endemic in a lot of libraries, it's like you cobble together an old system with a new one and then you fit it together the way it is. I mean, there are certain things that I think we can, a lot of technology becomes, more and more eco-friendly, but.
Right.
And we may be able to downsize it, like a few things. So,
The more LED lighting.
right, yeah,
Right,
they did,
right,
I think that was a project.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, is the answer. I mean, there's not a space difference. I mean, in terms of physical,
Right.
so. There probably will be efficiencies, but I don't know that it's gonna be, it'll be on the margins probably more than anything else.
I'm sure Eversource will raise rates accordingly, so whatever gain we would have had.
Well-
Oh, sorry, I didn't even mean
Was
that
that
towards you.
intentional?
Seriously, that was, I didn't even think about that.
No, that was intentional.
Do you work for first?
You-
Oh, Who's there for 37 years?
Yeah.
I was trying to keep up with your pension. Just kidding.
Aside from that, when we talk about overhead with financial planning or anything like that.
No, we're not gonna talk.
But, I couldn't see in here, can you just describe how many employees you have and how many are full-time? And
Sure.
part-time, and how many benefits, and how many don't benefits?
So we have 3 full-time employees and we have about 23 part-time employees. And that ranges from someone that might work 4 hours a month to someone that works 34 hours a week.
Okay.
So we have we have,
so, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 employees who work 34 hours or less. So they do qualify for benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the remainder are under 19 hours.
So they
right,
qualify.
Well,
for
there's-
certain benefits.
Yes,
Yeah.
or the
So-
support staff, yeah.
They qualify for the defined contribution plan. But maybe not, they don't qualify for town health. But anything 30 hours, between 30 hours and 35 hours, less than 35. Is Affordable Care Act
Yeah.
exchange, like that, we talked about that last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But underneath that, they do qualify for the DC plan.
Okay,
Those employees
gotcha.
are part-time employees.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, it didn't look like benefits were a big part of the budget here.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other departments, okay.
I saw the health insurance went down. Was that a staffing
Staff.
change? Okay.
Staff.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
I
it.
think it's
Thank you.
behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Raise that. Good job.
Yeah, really, it's not easy. You don't need to listen to that class anymore. You're done with it. You don't, I'm sure you've heard that for 7 years. You don't need to give you more.
Yeah. So I like going outside. You guys out.
Well, you should come over and just.
Tomorrow I think it's gonna be too cold, we're gonna have to come over.
She can't go over just for the morning or something like that?
I think it's- Looking outside of that. Do what you want for something.
Hey, Leonard. I can't, I still do, buddy.
I'd love to be outside. So tomorrow I think it's gonna be too cold, it's under 0. So I'll probably go over more around.
I was gonna do that, but I didn't wanna mess you up.
2 miles.
Yeah, I know, it's right.
Because I walk so fast. It's suffering. And I'm like. zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
And I do go.
Right, good.
So we next have Ray Allen. So Ray has 2 members from his commission, Nancy Guerra and Star Rooker. Nancy Walsh is just staying because she's enjoying.
Nancy, well, a good meeting.
What, it looked like you,
Don't be in your way, I don't wanna be in your way, man.
no, I want my seat.
Left and right, everybody.
Nancy, you've earned the right to come to the table.
No, it's-
Come on up here.
Oh,
There you go.
I learned
Come on up
something
here.
from these,
Come on up here. I'm insisting.
Might as well, Nancy.
all right?
Better chair.
Hi.
Hi.
Those who don't know, I'm Ray Allen, I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation, nice to meet you, the new members of the Board of Finance. Gonna simply go through our budget here for 26-27. We always start out with our mission statement, this is something that the commission brought on board, probably 6 years ago now. Bringing our community together through excellence in our beaches, parks, fields, facilities, and programs. As you well know, we have 20 different parks and facilities that we oversee in town here. Along with our great mini golf course, which was voted #1 by the Connecticut Magazine again in the state. Our new disc golf course, which is voted #2 in the state right now. So we're
This
doing,
golf course, I mean, I've told the story at Board of Selectmen meetings. I've walked my dog out there on the weekend. There's always 10
Yep.
people playing constantly.
constantly,
It's amazing.
we just put in another set of tee boxes, so now we have 3 different sets of tee boxes. For beginner, the intermediate, and our professional level. With 2 different sets of baskets as well, so it's been a great addition to town, really, and to go along with our great beaches and our rec center, which has been fantastic through the years, so.
I noticed, I was driving down the point recently and, I forget which of the mini golf structures, but one of them
The
was
lighthouse,
uncovered.
yeah, it came off, that cover actually broke, they had to refix, so we just put a tarp over it. And the boys have tried to lunge it several times, the wind has blown it off a couple times, so, yeah, been windy down there. So, for those of you who don't know, we have 4 different budgets in our Parks and Rec budgets. One is our recreation budget, which is our main budget, houses a lot of our staffing, some maintenance, things like that. We have a mini golf budget, a Vicky Duffy Pavilion budget, and also our parks budget, which houses our waters and some park maintenance and things like that. So,
Ray, talk about, employees first.
employees, we have 4 full-time employees in the rec center. Myself, an assistant director, Taryn Erb, our program facility, person who actually runs our teen center, who's brand new, actually been here a month now. Her name is Casey Costa. And our front desk person, which is Rick Pine. Rick's been with us for a long time, and Taryn, this is her second stint with us. She was actually our teen center coordinator, She's been with us for a year and a half, coming back now. We also have our full-time maintenance person, not really full-time, he works 25 hours a week. Tony Blau, who's been with us for 7 or 8 years at this point in time. That's our full-time staff that's there in the building every day. We have lots of part-time people who are around 20 to 23 during the year, depending on instructors, yoga instructors, pickleball people, different teen center staff members, things of that nature. And then in the summer, we grow exponentially to around 65 to 70 staff members, depending on how many lifeguards I'm lucky to get throughout the summer. Generally, I like to try to have like 15 to 18 lifeguards. Same with our mini golf staff. We have around 12 parking attendants. We have 15 or so camp staff members. So we grow. We grow in the summer. It's a unique experience to go through it, to try to keep up with all the text messaging with all the 18 to 21-year-olds that only seem to text. They don't even like to talk on the phone unless they're with their friends. They certainly don't want to talk to their boss. So texting at all hours, and I get text message at 1 a.m. sometimes because they think it's normal, but that's always fun. So it's a unique experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world because it's really fun. Good for it. So without them, our department would not do what we do. We do a lot of things in the summer. We bring in a lot of money to this town, back to the town itself. And that money also provides to our budget, our off budget with our sinking fund as well. And without them doing what they do and how they do it, we would not exist. So I give it all up to them. I actually had a long video I was going to show you tonight, and I actually omitted it because it's somewhat hard to download, but maybe I can send it to you off meeting. So
Sure.
it's a really nice video to see. So our first budget is our recreation budget. It's called our 301 budget. As I said, it houses our all our employees. Our regular employees is the first line item there. Those are our full-time staff members. The change that you'll see in there is our contractual wages that are through the union contracts of $5,060. And then as we move down to the next one, that's additional hours. If there's any overtime that we do accrue. It doesn't happen often. Carl hates it when we have overtime, so we don't do it as much as we'd like to, but he keeps a close eye on it. So as we move down there, those are our part-time employees for the summer. The first one there, part-time seasonal employee, that's actually for our cooking staff at Town Beach. Obviously our lifeguards, our activity supervisors, I'm sorry, that's not a real line item anymore. The facility assistants, those are our parking attendants. Why they got called facility attendants, I'm not sure. That's just how it is. So the next one down is our youth center supervisors, and then our next two are our building people that I have at night. We are open 72 hours a week, including Saturdays and Sundays. So, and we're open 8:30 at night, Monday through Thursday. So I have staff there, part-time staff members to oversee the building on a daily basis.
So people talk about the minimum wage and its impact, and it probably impacts Ray's budget the most.
Yeah.
Because he's hiring teams and he's hiring, so this is a budget that sees that. And when they were, over that 3 or 4 years when they were implementing it, we were really serious, playing catch up with it, actually.
Absolutely.
Anyway, go ahead.
So there's some small increases in each one of those, not each one of them, some of those line items. The biggest one being our facility attendants, and I'll explain that one, why it's the biggest increase of $4,000. And essentially, if you've been to the beach this past summer or the summer before that, I've actually hired not teenagers, but retirees. And I just pay the retirees a little bit more. They garner a little bit more respect in my mind. They're older, and I will say this, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I would have hired any retirees to work the beach. My mind is completely gone to 180, and I would hire more if I could. They are on time, they do their job, they do it with a smile, and they love being there.
I agree with that.
Every day they're there. And they deal with the public a lot better too. At Town Beach, there are so many people that cannot fathom the fact that they have to have their sticker on their windshield to get in there. And they respect the older person that's there more than the child that would be there administering that. So it's really become a big change, and it's become a learning curve in the town for people to understand they're not getting into the beach unless they have that sticker on their windshield. And they can't hand it to their friend who's behind them in line, and things like that. So to have these people there, it's been a big help for the beaches and for me. And I just pay them a little bit more, so I have to play a little catch up in that line item to reach where we need to be.
Several pickleballers.
Yeah, right, that's right.
You've got an adult there too, kind of, in case anything weird happens with the
Absolutely.
kids in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
So I think it's great. I think it's great.
It is really
Really
good, part of their job at the beach is they have to clean the bathrooms.
I know, it's
And
terrible.
the teenagers did not want to do it, and they don't do it very well. If you ever have some at home, you'll understand what they don't clean their bathrooms. The adults, they get right in there, they don't care, they just do what they have to do. That's made a big difference too. Yeah.
Not just that, but anything.
Boys, girls do clean.
So, again, that's why that line item has changed, slightly. Some of the next line items are, for insurances and things like that for full-time employees. And those are reflective of our full-time employees. They can't change those numbers whether they go up or down. And then as we get farther into this particular budget, some of the other changes, the professional services, those three that have 1,000 increase, 1220 and another 1,000. Those are people that we use for like locksmiths, our plumbing people, our electricians, things of that nature, and some other professional services that we use. And their rates have just gone up. So that's why those are increased slightly. And the last line item that's increased in there is our ball field upgrades. That particular line item buys turf is for the fields, it buys any dirt that we need, grass seed, fixing of fences of our ball fields, things of that nature. So some of those products have just gone up. If you were to buy a 50-pound bag of field mix for your overseeding, it's about $110 a bag now, where it used to be like 70. So they've gone up, and we use, for example, on McMurray Field, a very small field, we use 5 bags. So it takes a lot. And we've added also overseeding the town green, which Carl's asked for a few times, and hopefully you have some more additions coming to that field, that parcel in a little bit too.
Right, that's for all the ball fields?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that is our 301 budget, which totals $727,528, or an increase of $26,085 or 3.7%. We'll go on to our next budget, which is our mini golf budget. Pretty normal stuff that goes on in this particular budget. Obviously, mini golf this past season, from Memorial Day of 2025. Well, I would say the first couple weekends of May as well, until Columbus Day weekend of 2025, we grossed $282,000 down there. And all of that went to our strategic fund, sinking fund, which is fantastic, but this particular budget supports the mini golf course. As you can see, we have our employee line item, which is our first one, which is a slight increase of $4,000 to go to $60,000. Like I said before, that supports our 15 to 20 staff members, depending on kids' schedules. If I hire someone halfway through because someone took another part-time job, a lot of these kids also just don't work for us. They actually have other jobs. They'll work in a restaurant, they'll do something else, they'll babysit on the side, things of that nature. So they're trying to get as many hours they can from me, as well as getting as many hours they can from their other jobs. So balancing that and the number of staff, very rare they have one staff member that's going to be there the whole time and want those 30, 34 hours. So the more staff member actually helps you out, just because of that fact that they are all over the place. So
What's the pay for them now?
anywhere from minimum wage is $16.89 now up until I have supervisors down there to about 21 to 22, depending on the year. If how many years they've been with us, if they've graduated college, not graduated college, things like that. So I try to step it up. I can't have a supervisor who's been there making the same wage as someone who's brand new. Can't have someone who's in their 3rd year making the same money as someone who's brand new. So I have some steps that I've built in. That's kind of how I pay our employees. Other line items are increasing there, pretty self-explanatory. Repairs and maintenance. Things get broken. We always have to paint things at the mini golf course. Things have gone up, and as you can see from the actual 25, I've tried to base those numbers to reflect the increase that I put in there. So
So Ray, just a quick question on the last item that just mentioned. I mean, if the actual is already higher than what even asking for next year, what do you have budget for what's actually spent?
So it's 11,000, we spent 11,257. And we budgeted 10,000, so it took the 257 and just went to 11,000. I mean, it's hard to tell if I'm gonna spend the extra $1,200.
So we're actually talking about the salaries, the first one, the 71,000.
Oh, I see what you're saying, okay, so, again, this particular, the last 2 summers, I was very lucky, I didn't have to hire a lot of staff, we had a lot of staff members in their 3rd, 4th, and 5th year, so they got paid a little bit more. I fully anticipate most of those employees leaving us, and I'm gonna be starting fresh with some lower salaries, so. That's why I didn't budget all the way up to the 70,000 mark, I didn't think we'd need it.
We'll find out.
We'll find out, I guess, but I don't see it happening, I really don't, I know of at least 7 of the kids that are not coming back, you know, so. They're just gonna start at lower levels,
And you're running on budget for this year? Well, wait, 26.
yes,
That already happened, right? So.
we're in our budget right now, so.
Yeah, so it's already-
We're very, very, very close to being on budget, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So our mini golf budget shows an increase of $6,730. I know it says 7.2%, but that's relative to the size of the actual budget. That's mini golf. Moving on to the Vicky Duffy Pavilion, I've left it flat for obvious reasons. We have no idea what's gonna happen down there. I don't know what else to say about the pavilion budget at that point in time, so it is what it is.
Well, assuming the town budget for the entirety of the fiscal 27, is the budget sufficient?
Correct.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
I mean, you should budget for the fiscal year, not for any anticipated changes, I would say.
And it's definitely, I feel it's
Okay.
right on schedule. And our last budget that we discussed here is our parks budget. Again, this contains a lot of maintenance line items and some water line items for our park, mainly the water and all our irrigation systems, and certainly our splash pad at Trask, Kavanaugh Park rather. That's a slight increase in there, in that particular budget. Again, George, you're probably gonna ask the same question there, but this particular year that we looked at, it didn't rain at all. It didn't rain, so this year we rained most of June into July. So I don't see that number getting much higher than it was at all. I know August was a great month this year. It was unbelievable, actually. I don't think we had one day of rain at all in August, but again, these are quarterly budgets we get out of them, so we should be okay with our water line item this year.
Where you have a line item for lawn care. Hires an outside firm for?
Correct.
But you do, okay, so
Not all of it, so most of our mowing is done by our public works department. We have an outside contractor that'll do extraordinary work, mulching of flower beds, cleanups in the fall at certain parks, trimming of bushes down at the point, things of that nature. He also takes care of the mini golf course as well. He mows the mini golf course.
so what does that lawn care budget pay for?
That is for that particular person.
That, the outside person?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Public Works is housed in their public works department.
Yeah.
And the other one that's increased there is our electricity line item for simply $1,000. I increased it to reflect where we're at from the year before. And as you said before, hopefully our Eversource rates will not go through the roof. And those are our 4 budgets. So our 4 combined budgets represents $938,000, 305. Of that, 62% of it is for our part-time and our full-time employees. And another 134,000 is for insurances, so 76% of our budget is for our employees and their insurances. Whereas the rest of it is for our maintenance and things of that nature, and certainly our water and our gas and our electricity. But the bulk of our budget is actually for our employees, which is good because they need it, because they provide what we do, so. Again, this next slide is about our staffing in our recreation alone budget. Whereas that we have 46% of that budget is for our full-time and part-time, full-time staff, 25% for our part-time staff. Our mini golf budget, 60% of it, again, is for our staff. 34% for our maintenance budgets down there, which will include, again, any bricks we have to re-glue, any painting of the pavilion, parks that we have to replace around for the winter time. There's just a lot of little things that go on down there that just need to replace. People, it's mini golf, they have fun, right? So in the fort area, there's always holes in the building that we gotta constantly fix, and it's hard, but people enjoy it.
Wait, can I just ask you, this is on a previous slide, but this talks about $134,000 for insurances for 14% of the budget.
Yeah. That might have been a misprint on my part. You're right, because.
Oh, it's like health insurance you're talking about?
Correct, yes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like liability.
No,
That's
that's health
liability
insurance, yeah.
insurance. Okay, so that's like health insurance
Yeah.
and social benefits. Okay. Thank you for.
Where am I? So mini golf. Again, the insurance is like their health benefits and things like that. Dental, defined benefit plan, things of that nature, yes. And the same goes for the Vicky Duffy pavilion budget. Just this quick breakdown of what it represents. Now, you might say staffing, why do you have staff at the pavilion? We need to open and close that building when we have any rentals. That's what that goes to. Our park budget. Again, just a quick breakdown of what we spend in our park budget. There's some big breakdowns here, lawn care representing 30% of that budget. Where you think the maintenance would be a little bit higher. We get a lot of our maintenance done by our public works department. So that certainly helps us out. A lot of little things that they can fix and repair and do on their own, where I don't have to hire anyone out. So they're a tremendous help to us. Again, these are summaries of how it's broken down. Simply, I just try to like put this in a line by line, since we do have a lot of line items in this particular budget. Sometimes it's easier like this.
Yeah, I think it is. Thank you. It's a nice summary.
So, as we've already gone through this, you can see where I put the decreases in blue there. But for the overall budget for the 301 recreation budget, 20,866 are increases that are beyond my control. Those are things that are the insurances or their contractual raises, and certainly with the part-time employees, some of that is the minimum wage that they're required to be paid. And only 5,220 are budgetary increases that I see necessary for this particular budget. Kind of an easy way to think about it, just breaking it down a little bit more with these bigger numbers that we have. And trying to do the same for the next two budgets as well. Obviously, we didn't have one for the Big Dovey with the particular line items, but again, with the mini golf and the parks budget, that is what that is. Hopefully the one that you have in the parks, I erroneously put 2,000 for electricity, but it switched on this. I found it actually today when I was going through it. So it is only $1,000 because electricity. I think on yours it probably says 2,000.
Yeah.
Bad eyesight. So in conclusion, for all four of our budgets shows a general increase of $35,815, of which $20,925 are energy charges. $14,870 is budgetary increases for a total increase of 3.5%. Again, we contributed $202,015 to the general fund this year. That is from our sales of beach passes and from all the money we brought in from Harvey's Beach. Those two particular places fund back into the general fund. And the rest of the mini golf money, like we said, we're very lucky that Carl let us put all that money into a sinking fund, which has really been helpful.
Does that, and you've probably already said this, I probably already read this, but I forgot. I'm assuming each year we also make more money in general, some exceptions like COVID and all that stuff, but is the trend of the income higher than or roughly equal to?
It really depends on the year.
In the past?
Truthfully, it depends on the year and if you have a lot of rain on a Saturday night or a Friday night.
Yeah, true.
So if you lose those nights, so a general busy Saturday night, middle July, we have two different shifts at mini golf. We have a day shift and a night shift. The night shift starts at 4 o'clock, goes till 10 o'clock. That particular Friday or Saturday night shift generally makes between $2,000 and $3,000.
So if you miss one.
If you miss
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
that's a big
yeah,
thing to make up.
right.
If you miss two, you're looking at something else, so.
And since they're part-time, if they don't have to work, we don't have to pay them.
Correct. They don't work, they don't get paid. The only time they do have to get paid, if it's raining in the morning.
Storm, yeah, rain, cancel, yeah, they have.
And I call them in at noon and they're supposed to work at 9, I pay them for half of what they're supposed to work. So if they're supposed to be there for 3 hours, they get paid for half the time because they're sitting around waiting for.
Yeah.
So that's the only time we actually pay them. But when I call them off, tell them no, they don't get paid at all.
Thank you.
Any questions in the particular line items for this particular budget?
The people online, if you have a question, can they just, if they yell out, they should raise their hand. They can raise their hand.
No, I don't have any questions. I just want to say good job, Ray.
Thanks, Jane.
Does Megan need to be a panelist to ask?
On the other screen.
He's listening, but I tried to make her a panelist and she was
Okay.
So the next part of the budget is actually some capital requests, and there's quite a few, because I put in some other years, 2 to 5 year capital planning. Hey Larry, you gonna go back to that? Thank you, buddy.
We don't see it.
Is Larry running your show?
Larry's running the show right now, sharing right now.
I think it was Eric.
Eric, did you take over the screen?
Eric, did you take over the screen?
No. Well, Larry's still working.
Well, we all have the
capital.
Yeah, we do have it in front.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
People online,
Move on.
Get to my capital.
they may be able to see it anyway. Yep.
So I put in 6 capital requests for this particular year. The first one would be a new historical sign at Gardner's Landing in Fort Saybrook Monument Park. Oops.
There you
Gardner's Landing is the park right next to the Dock and Dine parcel at the very end there. That particular sign is about Gardner himself. Obviously by the picture, you can't read it. Needs to be replaced. The other sign is at Fort Saybrook Monument Park. These two particular signs at this particular park 3 or 4 years ago, I redid a lot of the signs that were there. These two particular signs at the time, I either missed them, but there are, I thought they were good at the time. Maybe I missed them. I'm not positive, but these two particular signs need to be redone as well. So that's one capital project.
And they're expensive.
They're
It's
expensive.
a company like in Ohio, they're weatherproof. They last.
They do last. They look very good. The next particular one is fixing the cracks at the tennis court / pickleball courts at Kavanaugh Park. If you've been over there, you've seen these. They are quite large. We've had issues with this particular park through the years. We've done this more than once. The last time we did this was approximately 5 or 6 years ago. The company that does it, Hinding, they do a great job with it, but the cracks simply come back. What I've been told by that company, there's water that flows underneath this particular court. Just from where it's been built, it was built 45 years ago, I believe. It's an older asphalt court and cracks happen on tennis courts and in the wintertime they freeze. I'm sure we'll have bigger ones after this winter, so. So our plan is to fix them again.
A new post-tension court is probably 500,000 or 600,000. And, we figure if we can get 5 years and the courts are playable and in decent shape and they satisfy the patrons, and Ray, you're gonna have to let me know.
Yep.
This is the direction we're in.
I do have a quote in the 2 to 5 of the actual, what it would be for post-tension concrete later on in this booklet, so.
Those
Tennis courts are
really work. I mean, we put them,
Post-tension.
yeah, we have them, we put 2 of them in near where I used to live up in Weathersfield.
Yeah.
Like 10, 12 years ago, and
They're
there's
great.
not a flaw.
The pickleball courts across the street are post-tension
Are they?
concrete, and they've been awesome. So.
That's what we did in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ray, I'm just looking at the quote, and maybe you can negotiate this when it comes time, there's a fuel surcharge.
Yeah,
With the price of fuel now, there shouldn't be a fuel surcharge, right?
I can talk to them about that for sure. That's been something that
Maybe
they've
fuel
done all
reading.
their quotes.
Yeah.
There's also, I don't know if you've ever gotten them, but there's also like USTA grant for public courts. So,
Looked into UST grants, mainly they give them to inner cities.
we had it for Weathersfield, so.
Yeah.
And
Not an
A lot of the ones that I saw too were from lighting.
yeah,
But,
It would be,
Yeah.
would be good to look into it, right?
yeah, absolutely.
We can get granted, we'll rip them up.
Yeah.
Is there a pickleball association yet? Is there a
There
pickleball
is.
association yet?
There is, I don't know if they give any grants, but I'm sure they're well on their way to giving grants.
It's getting bigger and that's the level.
Yeah.
The PCA will be doing, they're doing already, initiatives to get kids to play.
I mean, they're on TV now, they're on their own
Oh
tour.
my God, it's
Really?
crazy.
Are you kidding?
No, they have their own tour.
Hey, Ray,
Yeah.
that proposal says no warranties on any of the work they perform, and it says recommend a rebuild of 4 courts. Does that mean that when they looked at this, they recommended that we don't even resurface them and we rebuild the tennis court?
The person who gave this quote, Tom Hinding, he's been recommending that we rip these up for several years now. So,
Didn't we do this last year?
No, we'll get
No.
about 5 years.
just that,
What did we do there last year? We did something. Did they repaint it or something?
we repainted a couple of
We resurfaced the pickleball.
pickleball courts we resurfaced, but we didn't do anything there. No,
You got the new nets though.
we did. You got new
Does
pickleball
help.
nets.
Yep.
Wheels. So, they're a lot easier for people to put them in place. The next capital project put in for some shade benches at the pickleball courts. If you've ever been over there on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know, the courts are packed. And, they're always in the sun. We have 3 benches there now. They're just not sufficient. I will keep those 3 benches that we have and also add these shade benches there. Just to get some people out of the shade. I have a lot of people that ask for shade over there. And always sun unless you're on the court, which doesn't help when you're not playing. So, certainly some shade is needed over there. This particular color is green. That's not the color I go with. It's the only color I could find for a picture. If you'd ever went back to the bocce courts that are back there, we have some black ones that are back there, so I'm gonna get black as well to match that, so.
And they're in the shade. The seat is in the shade.
No, there's a cover.
No,
Gives
the
it a
cover.
cover.
There's a cover.
gives
I
it-
think it's black in August.
I know, it's so weird.
Having frequented a lot of playgrounds around, it doesn't seem to matter the color, but
I don't think it matters with that. It's a rubber coated,
Oh,
coated stuff, yeah.
Now, is there any, and this is really needed over there, so this is great, but is there also a chance that a water fountain might get?
I have a water fountain. That was in last year's capital, actually. It's sitting at the garage. We have to put it in for the spring.
Great.
Man, there you go.
It's funny, it's not. He'll live here.
Ray, I mentioned, my wife plays, there 2 or 3 times a week, so I mentioned the shade, she was ecstatic. I thought it was Christmas. Now I can mention a water
You
fountain.
got a water fountain there.
got
too.
You
got it all.
It's like a country club.
Yeah,
We're serving pastries.
You can put a planter in with flowers.
All
right.
Let's go, keep going.
The next, capital project put in for a new sign at Exchange Club. When we redid all the blue signs around all of our parks, this sign got omitted somehow. This is the sign that sits off of 156 as you're going past the transfer station. It's by some 154 rather, I'm sorry. Going by the transfer station in the front. It just hasn't been changed, so I'd like to change it out to go along with all the rest of our blue signs that we have around town. This is the only one that I can find that's not the same, so I'd like to make everything the same.
Is that sign something that zoning is gonna have to approve?
It's already there, it's existing, so
Okay.
we should be fine. I can ask Chris Costa, I don't think so.
No, I was just curious.
It's the same size, the same footprint, everything's the same. Our last capital project I put in for, I'm sorry, not the last one, but one of the last ones, are 5 bathroom step ups. So we're all kids at one point in time. You go to the beaches, we have a lot of kids that go to the beach, we have a lot of kids that go to Cavanaugh Park. They have trouble reaching the sink. Parents ask all the time, can you put a stool in there? I don't want to put a regular stool. In case they step on it, flips over, then they fall off. These are commercial grade step ups. They bolt down to the floor. They actually, when you're not using them, they'll fold up. Or you can just put your foot on them and they'll fold back down and the kids can use them. And hopefully this solves the problem of kids not being able to wash their hands.
So they fold up out of an adult's way towards the
Correct. So
sink.
they're underneath the sink. This is when it's down, when they get off, it folds up like this, so it's out of the way,
Okay,
underneath
they're
this,
bolted so the kid
Bolt.
can't.
bolted
Oh,
down. Yeah.
I think that's a great
I
idea.
think there's one in the library bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying, I know I've seen one around,
Girls?
because I have the little kids, and
Yeah.
I think there's one that could.
That's a great
If
idea.
you wanted to see one.
So I'm gonna put them in the bathrooms at the town beach, Harvey's Beach, and then one at Cavanaugh.
Good.
The last one that we're gonna look at is, some bike racks and some bike pumps. The bike racks I would like to replace, the one at Town Beach is pretty dilapidated at this point in time, it's all rusted out, some broken spikes in it, things like that. So I'd like to replace that one. I'd like to add one to Harvey's Beach. We do not have a bike rack currently at Harvey's Beach. A lot of people do ride their bike there as well. We need a place to put their bikes. And we do have a bike rack at Cavanaugh Park, but the park gets just a lot of use. There's always bikes on the ground that are not being used, so I'd like to put one there as well.
Good question.
No?
Please.
Okay.
You ride your bike to Town Beach. Are you supposed to have a beach pass?
No.
So it's for parks.
Seems so unfair, but that's okay. So
They
the
don't
bike,
think
the
of-
bike
they don't think
riders ride their bikes and they visit the beach because they have their chairs on their back.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to pay for the beach pass.
Correct.
Okay.
So anyone,
Like a
this
block.
goes along with the law though, Barbara, so
Yeah.
anyone is allowed to use our beaches, no matter what. That's actually a state law.
Oh, it's just the car.
The car,
It's-
we
you pay
run
for
the parking.
car.
Anyone can actually use the beach. That's a
Okay.
state law. We
It's the
can't
car.
stop anyone from using the beach at all.
Got
They could ride their bike from Hartford if they wanted to into the beach. We can't stop them.
God, it's the car.
Yeah.
The car is business.
What else?
The last slides are the capital planning for 2 to 5 years, as you guys have asked for, from last year and this year. There are some projects, and these are all rough estimates. Our Clark Community Park Strategic Plan funding, 3 million I put down there. We have no idea what that is gonna cost. They're working on that as we speak. I'd like to resurface our gymnasium floor eventually. We opened the building in October of 2005. We are 20 years old on the floor now. It is a rubberized floor if you haven't been over there. That floor is actually rated for 20 years, so I'm just looking in for the future. It is in good shape at this point in time, but it is something that will be.
So when it needs to get done, we'll get it done. I mean, I told Ray, does it need to be done now? And
It's still in good shape. We've been very lucky. I've seen other floors of that nature that just the top of it is gone and you
Yeah.
can't see it, so.
but it needs to be done, that's easy.
We've already talked about the tennis courts at Kavanaugh Park. Paving of Harvey's Beach parking lot. If you've ever been there in the summer, it's pretty dusty. It is a dream project of mine to pave it.
But it's,
It's a lot to do with, we'd have to have a whole drainage plan in it and all that good stuff. I don't even know. if we
because
can do it.
you're near the sound and you're talking about impervious surface. It could involve DEP,
Yeah.
it could, so it's not as simple as saying,
Not,
let's pave the parking
yeah.
lot. Chris Costa, we've talked to Chris about this a little bit.
There's a lot to that one, but it's still, I like to put dreams in here too. A new playground for Kavanaugh Park as well. Again, I've been here this is my 24th year now, and that playground was there when I got here. I believe it's 28 years old, but we've added a few things to it. There are some really, really neat playgrounds out there that these days that we could put a nice one in there as well,
So is there a preferred design? Have you looked at what would be the preference of the Park and Rec Commission?
Well, I think that we leave some of that up to the Park and Rec Commission to help design that as well, what they're looking for, but we also have to look what our footprint is. So you can only go so big and what the footprint is for fall zones and things of that nature and what you can have in there. So I would certainly have a designer come in and look at it and see what we could put in there.
We should probably get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty heavily used
It is.
area, you know, if there's a baseball game going on, it'd be nice to have a good playground for the younger kids and.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, that park is really designed for the younger kid with our splash pad, which is.
Yeah, so
A younger
that's something
playground,
that,
they designed them specifically for ages as well, so.
so given the size, that's
Yeah.
something that you guys should look into. And the dog park, I'll take, I know the commission's interested, but I've been interested, for many years. You know, the preference for the dog park is to have one downtown, kind of, you know, the one in Westbrook, I don't know if any of you have been there. It's a drive, and I don't know how many people are actually gonna do that. You have one centrally located, people will go to it. Have an idea on a spot that is not available at the moment, but may become available. A perfect spot, but they weren't interested. And I solicited it several times. They said, well, lease it, we'll buy it, whatever you want, we'll insure the hell out of it. Is as you go to Stop and Shop, all the way, if you're looking at Stop and Shop from Elm Street, the lot all the way on the left towards the last entrance. It's about 2.3 acres. It's a perfect spot.
Yeah.
And they've rebuffed me several times on that. And apparently they may be subletting it to a business that might build something there. But I looked at that, I'm like, that would be a perfect spot for a dog, but plenty of parking. But that's something, and I think we could build a dog park with donations.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it would be 300,000, but
I just threw it in there if we had to buy land or whatever.
Clinton, yeah, if you had to buy land, but Clinton has a really nice dog park. Anyway,
Carl, if you walk all the way to Saybrook Station, there's one in there.
yeah, I've gone
Okay.
through there many times, it's just tiny little.
You have to, oh, yeah, but you have to let the dog off.
Where is that?
Saybrook Station, it's private, it's the apartments by the
Oh, okay.
railroad.
I'll run through there with my dog, if
Yeah.
there's another dog in there, I'll let her.
Yeah, So, Ray, I know you're not Santa Claus, you're not taking wish lists, but one of the things, I noticed, I'm a relatively new parent, and on Saturdays, the Maple Ave field can be, and has been a few times, a nightmare of safety risk, traffic risk. You know, there are about 8 parking spots in there, and the way the soccer games work is this one starts before the people have left, and it's insane. Like I've thought about asking if we could have police direct traffic there. It's that bad, and the kids are walking in the driveway. There's only one car width. So just, while I have you here, and I wanted to mention that. I know that for all the parents that have their little ones going to soccer, that would be a big.
Stagger them more. So we try
Either
to
stagger, yeah, or, I mean, it looks like it could be widened safely a little bit, I don't know.
We'd have to look at the plot on where the stakes are, but the best thing would be to stagger games for, we try to do a half an hour, but maybe this year it didn't get to a half an hour, I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe there are
Yeah.
more kids, I have no
Yeah.
idea, but I noticed, I was like, wow, that's not something we want.
Sure, no, absolutely, don't want anyone get hurt, so.
Right.
Well,
right.
I'll make sure we stagger games a little bit more, so we have time to get in and out. Any other questions?
Oh. Sorry, I forgot about this, I know Carl wants to end the meeting.
No, I don't.
The bathroom at Kavanaugh Park, so you mentioned things, I have little kids, that's why I'm so interested.
Kavanaugh Park.
So, when we've tried to go in, they're scared to go in, because, because of they're like creepy crawlies everywhere. Does somebody go in there, maybe throw a leaf blower around every?
So our public works department is cleaning Mondays and Fridays at that particular bathroom.
This was like 2 years ago, I remember.
Well, and we also redid it since then. There's
Okay.
new lighting in there now.
Oh,
We've painted
yeah.
we have a new ceiling in there. So it is a little bit more, but new fixtures in there as well. So a little bit more inviting. I still have to paint the walls. The wall particularly didn't get painted. Why? I don't know why, but it just didn't get painted. So we have to repaint those.
Sorry for bringing it up, my wife probably knows that I haven't been to that.
The spider webs, I will say this, the spider webs are a problem, and when the boys mow, sometimes the grass will get underneath the door and it gets stuck in there, so then it gets a little dirty, and then they have to blow it out. They understand that. They've kind of figured out how to mow the opposite direction. But, yeah, some of the spider webs need to get out of there more frequently, and that is on them, and I will certainly talk to them more about that.
Thank you.
Carl, who owns that piece of property between the bocce ball court and St. John's? That grass area on the other side?
That's the park, it means.
That's the park.
That's our
What
park.
is it right now? It's nothing, right?
It's just an open space.
Main Street connection.
Dog park?
That's a great dog.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we're more central.
Not enough parking, so
There's a parking lot right there.
couple things. If we tried to put a dog park in there, the neighbors would have a fit, because you're right on. You have to put a dog park in a place where neighbors are not gonna hear barking. It would have to get zoned, and there's a lot of uses for that parking lot right now. I'm not sure, I've thought about that, and Park and Rec is considered that.
When we were planning, we thought about having it as a dog park, but I didn't feel that taking the dog from your parking lot going past the pickleball courts would be safe at all. And it's a longer walk.
There's
You
that,
can't use the parking lot that SMT has, because it's SMT's.
and
or
the
whatever it
neighbors,
is.
and the neighbors on that, it's a street right across from you, Sherwood.
But, not sure.
They're already not, the pickleball's a loud sport. And so there's already noises there, and
Well, the dog park would drown it out.
I had a couple neighbors come up to me after the pickleball courts went in and said, promise me if you're redoing the rest of this, that it will be passive recreation. And so there's a little bit of neighborly that's for that. But I agree with you, good location.
Great. Any other further questions, online? Anybody?
No, I actually have to log off, sorry. Appreciate, all the info, Ray.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Very nice information. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Nice to meet you. Thanks, Ray.
Actually, I'm a log that.
All right, Leanne. Good luck tomorrow.
Am I up?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you for letting me sit in, everyone.
Take care, man.
Okay, we're going.
Whenever you're ready, Leanne.
Okay, all right.
Good evening, everyone. Just one piece of unfinished business from last night that I wanted to go over. There is a request that has come about through several channels. First, during Chief Onofrio's budget presentation, he did mention his desire for capital to purchase some vehicles as well as a motor for the patrol boat. And he then again met with the capital planning committee in January and went over in full detail his request for an immediate purchase of 3 vehicles from the police vehicle purchase fund, as well as a purchase for a motor from Fund 2825, which is the outside services fund. We had previously set up a funding mechanism for that to put all those funds in there. And so our goal is for tonight to just go over this request officially. And it's going to ultimately come back for a vote to the board, or a motion to the Board of Finance at the next meeting in February. I will mention, though, that both of these requests are technically already approved because they come from the Police Vehicle Purchase Fund, which has already been designated as a fund to purchase vehicles, as well as the funding mechanism that we put in place for the motors. So in full transparency, we just want to let everybody know exactly what it is that we're doing. So the goal would be to purchase the 3 police vehicles that just by happenstance come to the same amount that is existing in our police vehicle purchase fund, about $201,000. In the information that you received tonight, there was the chief provided you with all of the details on those vehicles, as well as the quotes for the motors that he would like to purchase. And the goal for the motors is to do it over the winter in order to get the boat up and running for the spring season. So those are the main points of all this. I'm sure that you had all the information in front of you, so I'm not going to go over it per se, but I'm happy to field any questions, or if Carl or I can't answer them, certainly we can make sure that the chief provides further information if you need more clarification prior to the February 3rd meeting. The remaining 6 vehicles that he would like to purchase, we're working on funding options for that right now, and that would be a fiscal year 27 purchase. So that is not on the table at this moment. However, we are putting funds away to the vehicle purchase fund as part of the budget. $90,000 is what goes in there every year, and we would continue to use outside services and other sources for funds for that. And when we have more information, certainly we'll be back to you on that matter as well. So I'll stop and see if anybody wants to make any points or has any questions.
So we don't have to vote on this at all because started.
No, so, we have several different types of accounts in town, and we have designated accounts, we have undesignated accounts, and this is a designated account for vehicles. That's what the money has always been used for. That's what the 90,000 that we put away for. The way I've operated, and I think the way the chief is looking to operate, is to say, look, this is what I'd like to do. I'm not trying to pick a fight. Do I have your blessing? I don't know that, and I don't want to speak for him on that, but I think we are looking for an endorsement that go ahead and do this. I will assure the board that we are looking at different options on the other 6. So I've had conversations with the town manager in Clinton at a meeting once, and Leanne I couldn't make the meeting. Leanne was in a meeting with the chief through a company, Enterprise. And they have a public safety leasing program, lease finance program. Leanne was in that meeting. There's a follow-up meeting February 10th that I'll sit in on. And, to your point, to see, maybe we buy 3 this year, 3 next year, and 3 the year after, maybe go something like that. But with regard, that's with regard to the other 6. With regard to these 3, the chief is just looking to be able to say, hey, is it okay? Kind of need these vehicles, like to get them on the road and be done with it. I'm not speaking for him, by the way. This is information. He didn't ask me to come and represent him. You've heard this.
And I sat through the capital planning committee and it was well thought out, and certainly the Tahoes make a lot of sense based on, the needs in terms of space for the equipment and, certainly I think they're, sharp looking vehicles to boot. And as far as the repowering for the boat, there's a lot of benefit. The Yamaha, I know, as a boater, is a very reliable engine. It's repowering. And there's a lot of savings of repowering and not having to reconfigure with a different brand of a motor. So it all made very good sense. It was well presented, and I thought it was kind of something that sounded as a must do.
I'll jump in. I'm supportive of this, to begin with. As far as the next 6 vehicles, I wonder if this would be, and again, I'm new to this office, but in business, it would be something that I think would automatically be done is what are our options for vehicles? And can we, before we commit to, or even, before anybody says, okay, we're getting these or starts planning on getting those, can we have somebody compare the different police vehicles that are available for cost? Another thing I thought might be good for the Board of Finance, I'm assuming the Police Commission has already done this, but field trip, check these vehicles out. Let's look at them. What's the equipment that needs to be in there?
That would be actually
I think
very
that'd be,
good. I
yeah.
think it's a great idea.
Yeah, then we go down and look, and then if we say, oh, great, okay, now I understand.
Let him get a
Or-
couple of these Tahoes and maybe in May or something, take a look at them.
Yeah, just so we know, I know I could go down there at any time.
Yeah.
The chief seems certainly open to knock on the door. He'd show me, but maybe a good idea, but I would like to request a comparison, at least for pricing,
Yeah, I think what you're gonna hear on that is there's limited options on
Yeah,
that.
there are 3.
What
Dodge Durango, Ford Explorer, and
does that, I didn't
that's what
realize.
the state police are doing now,
Oh,
from what I
didn't know
understand,
that.
going to
Okay,
Dodge
didn't know
Durango.
that.
But I will say, from what I read, there seem to be maintenance issues with the Dodges. And again, I'm not saying, I might endorse the Tahoes in the end.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be prudent on behalf of the taxpayer for us to at least look at the options,
Sure.
And I agree with the boat, don't, we have Yamahas on, just do it. It's, it's
The
not on
money's
the money.
there, the money's just coming in.
Yeah, right, we're making money off of it, basically.
Maybe we should
So,
get a couple boats and
one for each member of the Board of Finance. But so I would like to request that, and I can ask the chief if you want,
Yeah.
or maybe they do this anyway. I don't know that they,
It's probably good just to have a conversation.
yeah, because
We did have
again,
Explorers before the Tahoes. That's what we had.
The issue with the
Right.
Explorer that came
Right.
up in these meetings is that the
Yeah.
cargo space on the Explorer is much smaller. So the Tahoe allows for the existing equipment, which I think the Saybrook, existing cruisers are outfitted with probably, more equipment maybe than some of the other towns, but, more safety equipment.
right.
That was the main, point that was brought up of Explorer versus Tahoe.
Yeah, we're a great town. We're not completely unique though, so.
Yeah, we're
Clinton, I
not.
don't know what they're using, but.
We're not, so, I might wanna take that offline with you, I don't, there were some safety features that I don't know, I assume they're public information.
Like the ballistic doors and all.
Yeah,
Yeah, which can be added, I'm sure, to the Explorers.
and they also carry with them shields, like,
Riot shields.
I get whatever they are, I don't know what they are
Yeah.
and that would, and I think the chief made that point that all that equipment just wouldn't fit, and I will say also what the chief said. He goes, a lot of police departments are not outfitted like we are,
We want to be outfitted well.
but that was the prior practice.
Yeah.
And now what are you gonna do? Say, you know what? We're not gonna do the ballistic doors, and why do we need a shield for the most part in Old Saybrook, so, but that is the way they were outfitted over the last 10 years. And so he felt removing that at this point is kind of like,
Especially for him, the new chief, I wouldn't wanna.
how do you do that?
Yeah, I don't wanna put him in the position.
So that's why I think the size of the car, and again, I think the conversation should be with the chief, not with me.
Right.
So,
Okay, I just wanted to bring that up to the board. so
Yeah,
when
but I
we-
think- yeah, I mean, other vehicles, well, I don't know what they are. I didn't hear the.
There might not
documents.
even be a price difference. Honestly, I was surprised at how, like, we couldn't buy a Tahoe. Wow, I mean.
Those get ready to go.
Even with the extra, the 12,000 and extra stuff,
You
it's like,
could,
you
they're
couldn't get that.
probably 90,000
Right.
if you wanted to buy it.
Right, so it's not, overall, I don't think it's too much money to spend on our vehicles. I'm somewhat, when it comes to taxpayer money, I'm somewhat conservative about,
It's not there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
Yeah.
Do we know what the schedule would be for the three that are, kind of, but
They're available, I think they're available. He
Yeah.
could probably order them, get them and outfit them and they'd be on the road.
this is,
Yeah, order
it would be
July.
fun.
No, these are the three that you would, in theory,
oh,
bless
those are already.
tonight would be 26s. So
Right, okay,
he would have, in theory, have them on the road by June 30th of
Okay.
this year.
okay.
But that is a great idea, because with those, we might be able to see one of those and then there's the outfit that does all of the repurposing and then the equipment, which is extensive. We could see, maybe have them as well, but it's pretty cool.
That's
Whalen
this conversation.
Engineering is phenomenal with
Yeah,
the discount they give. Sonny Whalen here just.
we get that regardless of which.
Yeah,
vehicle we
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it might be nice, like you said, be able to see one of the three that are available now as they're being outfitted. That
One of
would
them
be-
is-
On the truck,
One of
yeah, for Scott.
And I think it's best to have this conversation with the chief.
Yeah, okay.
Because George, you were.
I was gonna say, I mean, unfortunately, the procedural, we put a line item on the February 3rd. I should vote on this.
To vote on this.
Yeah,
Vote on
so
that.
I'm just, because I wasn't quite sure you
It's
could
next
change
week.
tonight. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't sure whether. I mean, one of the things that Leanne talked about was if this became a named project, we wouldn't have to vote this at all, because it would be part of the referendum.
Yeah,
And so something to think about, because otherwise we'll be formless, but so just procedurally, the next meeting, there actually will be a line item to vote on
okay,
this.
perfect.
So hopefully just be a vote, no questions, so if you have any questions.
And yeah, we got
That one should be. up.
And- There'll be time subsequent to that, I think, to have that conversation.
And yet I want the police to have the best. One thing I love about this town, I always feel safe. But doesn't matter where I am, I always feel safe because I know somewhere there's a police officer that can get to me within a minute if something happens.
So a buddy of mine's mother moved to town recently, was having a little bit of a TIA.
Yeah.
And he said, I couldn't believe it. He
I'm
said,
quick.
I called 911 from my house and he lives 100 yards away. He said, I got there, they were there a minute later. He
Yeah.
said it was unreal, the response.
Another story, my son's mother-in-law, down in College Street here, and was home alone with one of the babies, a grandbaby. And she heard, back door open and called 911. Said it was like in 2 minutes over there, it was like ninjas coming in and all sides of the house and what have you. It turns out it was the wind, okay?
Okay.
But he said 2 minutes, they were every side of the house.
They put the wind in its place.
Sounded like your son walking in the back.
And late.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
Leanne.
Leanne. In the pile of stuff that Jerry sent out last time, but you will reprint this again. There's actually a sheet that looks like this and with a motion. If you guys can't find it, I will forward. Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So that's the one that we will basically make a motion on February 3rd. All right, when we want to read that, that'd be great.
Make the motion adjourned tonight.